What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Reunion.
Hey, what's going on? How you all doing? Welcome to Reunion, bro.
And empathy also needs to extend to characters that we don't see as good, or who have a lot of flaws, and we have to kind of find their belief system, whether we think it's like morally correct or
not. My name is Kai Hay. I am the writer and director of Reunion. What inspired me to tell this story was kind of just like a collection of things throughout my life, really. I had some people asking if it was autobiographical, and it's not at all. Like, the idea for the film came from a much larger idea, which was more of like a thriller film, and a therapy session was meant to be the opening scene. And then, because it's only a short film, sort of had to compress it a bit, and then it just became focused on the therapy session. So.
Slide in. Rolling. Good sight. Frame.
Casting was probably, I think it was probably like smoother than I expected. 2 or 3 days of auditions, probably have to check that. But it was quite a short process, and I think it really helped that Kai just knew exactly who we wanted. And obviously, like, Tate is a friend of mine, and was a friend of mine previously before the film. So, and then Spencer we worked with on our first film, which was In Their Shoes. Sean and Camilla, it was like literally, like after their first auditions, just over a Zoom, Kai and I were both just like, they're just amazing, they're just spot on.
For me, the scene that came out exactly how I pictured it was probably the long dolly shot in the middle, where it's Max giving his long monologue about how he's been feeling and coping with everything.
I'd say the most challenging thing was the long monologue was a bit, not hard, but it was like, because we did it so many times in rehearsal as well, to keep it like one consistent train of thought, and to keep it authentic and natural. Yeah.
And I knew from the start that I wanted it to be one long shot that starts from pretty far back and pushes all the way in. Originally I wanted it to push all the way up to his face.
To go, who's kind of just like sitting there all the time.
I think theatre and film are quite similar in aspects. It's just more emotive on the stage, but in film you're really, like the camera picks up like the slightest movement, and if you overdo it, the camera's going to be like, oh, that's not natural.
And on the day we maybe had some issues with the dolly. We were using pipes, and there was a bit of a bump in there, so we couldn't really get it to be that smooth. But then we ended up just doing a static shot that we'd like digitally push in. And as I was watching on the monitor, like, it was just perfect. Like, Spencer's performance was like so spot on.
Coming onto a student project, there's a bad reputation, I feel like, and I'm not saying that from my own perspective, because I think if I'm recollecting right, this is my first student film that I've done. And I obviously didn't have a bad experience. Like, I had a really great one. And as I said, it had so much to do with really good writing and a really good story.
The thing that will stand out in the script the most is being able to understand the way the characters are interacting with each other purely off their dialogue. Kind of shows you there is a history there. Watching that development over the script, like getting to the final page and seeing all these people having these relationships with each other. And I think that that's probably the first thing that stands out to me, is this is a good script.
But this character, everything was naturally really there, and it was so based in, I think, human experience, and it wasn't trying to push anything. It was just really kind of revealing, I think, how we all think to some degree, and how we kind of like deal with trauma and loss and grief.
Empathy is a really important trait, because there's a chance that someone out of the, hundreds or whatever of people watching this film will be like, that is me, that's me. Like, I've experienced this, I know what this is like. And I think it's important to be able to empathize with people on, these experiences and the way they can impact the rest of your life as well.
Tell us a little bit about you, what you're doing on the film.
I'm playing one of the main characters, Sam, the brother of Max. Very disconnected from his feelings. Doesn't really want to.
And like, as much as it's a very serious film with, sad elements, I think in between takes there was a lot of just like, a lot of fun going on. Like even like Kai always like cheering everyone up and being so happy with how a take went. Even if he wanted to retry something, it was like he was always bolstering you up, and I guess that kind of environment really helped.
You get to meet people and you have to bond really quickly, and you do, and I think that's always really memorable. It's like people who come into your life sometimes for such a sliver of time actually have a really profound effect on you, and you take all of those learnings with you.
It was, such a like relaxed, and I think everyone was so comfortable, and we were like able to, shoot some, like fun behind the scenes stuff and be a little silly and like, joke around, and it wasn't, this like intense environment where, people can't have fun. It was like, it was so much fun, even though, the subject matter of the film is pretty serious and dark.
But, Kai,
We've got a lot. Heads of department.
etiquette, please.
The thing that surprised me the most was Camilla and her, like since rehearsal, she really brought it. Like even like just a small little bit, it always touched me every time that she read for that part, especially on the day. I was like, I really believe what you're saying to me right now. And it was good because that's what leads me into speaking as well for the first time. So Camilla she was incredible, yeah.
Like a massive reason why I wanted to work with Kai again, because even just like the first time I worked with him on In Their Shoes, we weren't even like friends. We didn't have like any prior relationship before that film. And just like how respectful he was and how respectful everyone was, but especially Kai, like was just like really incredible. And I never felt like, my suggestions or opinions were like, lesser than at any point. But I think we're just really lucky to have such a good group of people on this crew.
If you'd say one thing to the people.
This was great.
Everyone has their own struggles, everyone's going through things, and it all looks different, it all feels different, and whilst these people might look fine, there's other stuff going on, and things take time, people need time, and healing looks different for everybody.
That's a wrap!